Welcome to another video on my channel. In this video, we're going to use the Gemini AI, formerly known as Bard, to create a minimal, very basic Space Invaders game. Please be sure to stick around till the end and see how I do against the finished product. If you enjoy this video, please do like and subscribe. That really helps me a lot. First, I want to talk about the tools that we're going to use. The first tool is the Chrome browser, which we will use to both interact with Gemini and also to run the game that we're going to create. It will run inside the browser. The other tool that we're going to use is VS Code, which is Microsoft's very popular code editor. Now, I've already set up a VS Code project containing the skeleton files of our Space Invaders game. So in the skeleton project, I have some graphic files, PNGs, because Gemini will not be able to make those. So for instance, I have the bomb.pmg here, the defender PNG, the invader PNG, and the missile PNG. You may recall that the missiles are shot by the defender, the bombs are dropped by the invaders. And then we also have some empty source files here that I intend Gemini to provide. Notably, there's a game.js, a JavaScript file. Gemini is going to code that for us. There's also an HTML file, empty also, and a style.css file. If you're not familiar, these are elements of making any web page. The final file I'll talk about is the prompt.txt file, which contains the initial prompt that we're going to feed into Gemini. This prompt will have the basic parameters of our game. That is, we want to have a game wherein we have invaders coming onto the screen from the top, moving right and left down the screen, and dropping bombs on the defender. If a bomb strikes the defender, or an invader touches the defender, the game is over and you lose. If the defender is able to kill all the invaders with its missiles, then you win. Okay then, let's drop our prompt into Gemini. I'm copying and I'm from VS Code, and I'm going to drop it here. Boom. Let's see what Gemini comes up with. Thinking. Okay. So it's provided code for the HTML. So okay. It's providing a canvas. And invokes some JavaScript, game.js. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this to my clipboard and go over to invader.html, paste this in. Whoops, I said paste this in and save it. Go back to Gemini. Here is the JavaScript. Doesn't really look complete to me, and I guess I'm not going to get a style.css. Okay, let's get Gemini to complete this. Okay, so I'll say please provide a complete I'm just going to cut in or copy and paste this name. Okay. Okay. So it's provided a complete handle input event. Okay, let's try to get Gemini to produce the rest of the code. Thinking. Okay, this is the code afterwards. Okay, wow. That was surprisingly easy. All right, let's copy these pieces and put them in game.js. So game.js, empty. We're going to copy the first incomplete part. And then I'm going to delete this partial function. Okay, then we're going to go get that function. Here it is. I'm going to paste that in. And then we're going to go get the remainder of the code. Which is here. We're going to copy that to the clipboard and paste it here. Okay. So now we have our first pass at the code for Space Invaders. Okay, so now we're going to try running the Space Invaders game that Gemini has coded for us. And we do this using the built-in web server provided with VS Code. And so we're going to click on the HTML and say open with live server. Okay, and look at this. Okay, wow, this is pretty cool. I mean, I can't really see my defender, but okay, some things are working pretty good here. I mean, launch missiles, evidently all the missiles I want, although it didn't do anything when it hit it. Okay, that time it did. Alright, so I don't think the collision detection is everything we could hope for, or maybe it's delayed. Yeah, it just seems like it's delayed more than not working. No? Okay, so collision detection isn't really working. How about for the bombs? Not that time. Let's get hit by another bomb. Oh, this one. Okay, that appears to have worked. Huh. Okay. So, let's do one problem at a time. Okay, it took quite a few interactions with Gemini to get the collision detection working. And so instead of making you watch me type all that and transfer the code, I just thought I would get it done and then walk through it really quickly with you. So here's where I complain about the collision detection not working, and Gemini offers a fix involving bounding boxes, which is just drawing a rectangle around a conceptual rectangle around an object to see if something is getting into it. Rectangles are just easy, not to belabor the point. You know, they're easy geometric shapes if you want to check if something is inside it. So here it offers some JavaScript for that idea. Then I ask it to provide a consistent solution for everything that needs collision detection. And it says, sure, here it is. And so I took I took this code, combined with the other code, and put it into the game. It's one takeaway is that it doesn't seem like at this stage you're going to get Gemini to actually code something for you. It'll provide suggestions, it'll provide some code, but in the end you have to put it together. And so that's what's happening here. But anyway, the current state of the game is that is this. I'll run it now. Open in a live server, and you see you have the defender at the bottom. It does destroy the invaders with its missiles, and if it gets hit, watch, let's go get hit here, it'll be game over. Yeah, so that's all working. Let's start this over again. So the things I don't like about this, one is that we only get one defender at a time, or one invader at a time, and I think it's shooting too many missiles, really. And check this out, when I destroy the one invader, if I can get over there to do that. Okay. I get a brief message of it happens too quickly, but it looks like you win. It might just be game over. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was you win. It wasn't green. Could be actually also limit the number of... Okay, that's enough. Yeah. It says you win, but the game keeps on going. All right. So I need to fix that logic now. Okay, I'm going to course Gemini into fixing those things. Be right back. In this section, we want to get Gemini to create 4 invaders at a time, so we have more than just one invader on the screen. And so I ask Gemini to do that, and it provides some code to help me do that. And I implement that code and run it, and it creates 4 invaders, but they're all overlapped on top of each other. Okay. Wow, a few things wrong here. One, it looks like the invaders are added on top of each other. And obviously there's too many bombs. Okay. Not very clever. And so Gemini provided a fix for that. I implemented that fix. Still a lot of bombs. Oh my goodness. Okay. Might be able to survive this one. Don't know. Yeah, okay there. Oh shoot. Oh gosh. And then I started talking about the bombs. Because there's already a lot of bombs with just one invader. With 4 invaders on the screen, it's really becoming very hard to survive. And so we started talking about an algorithm to limit the number of bombs. And Gemini offers this code up here, and I implement something very much like this, not exactly. But there's still a lot of bombs. So I suggest adding a counter to each invader object and just setting the counter to a large value, counting it down. When it gets to 0, okay, time to launch a bomb, reset the counter. But Gemini doesn't implement exactly that thing, but it implements something similar. And then that got the bomb sound to a reasonable level. Okay. Oh man. Okay. I think I should be able to handle this, even though I didn't the first time. I mean, still a number of bombs going on. Oh, I won. Okay. Well, we're pretty close to declaring victory, but only have a few changes more to make, I promise. So in this part of the video, I'm prompting Gemini to make a few final changes. And so two of them are slowing the invaders down and speeding up the movement of the defender. Now, this is accomplished pretty easily just by changing the line of code where they're moving the invaders, for instance. Here it's taking the invaders' position, their X position, and they're moving it 5 times, actually essentially 5 pixels at a time. The direction is either 1 or -1, so it's either moving it to the right or left. This is going to be easy to change. You know, they suggest changing it to 2. I think I'll experiment with that and see what speed is best. And again, it's a very similar change to the defender movement because you see a very similar line of code here. And so we'll want to change that as well. Then the next change I asked for is to limit the number of bombs on the screen. So Gemini suggested making a variable with the active bombs, and I said, well, why? I didn't even look at its change because I know there's another place to get the number of active bombs, and that's in bombs.length. So I suggest doing that. Of course, Gemini likes my change. Gemini seems to like all changes, and suggests a fix for that very thing. So it turns out that in all of this, Gemini will suggest fixes that don't actually fit into the code as it stands, so it takes a little bit of tinkering. They may have worked in the original code before any changes, but yeah. Okay. So my final change that I asked for is to make the background black. And that's because I like a black background, and also because I see some things in the code that should be displayed but aren't being displayed because the background is the same color as the font. So here's the change for making the background of the canvas black. These 2 lines of code here basically. Let's see. I think that's going to be it. Let's see. Yeah, those are all the changes. So I took those changes, fiddled with them a little bit, put them into the code, and let's look at the result. Alright, so here we have a score that wasn't visible before because it was the wrong color. Oh my goodness, I'm in trouble here. Really get out alive. Yeah, this is still challenging to play, although oops. One bug that's still in there is that if I get hit by a bomb after I win, then I lose. So that doesn't seem right. It only remains to tighten things up just a little bit to make the game more competitive, and then see how well I do against it. Please stick around to see how that works out.